Namaste, friends. I'm Heather Wiest with Love Serve Inspire, and today I'll be guiding you into a little bit of paradise and all levels slow flow. For today's practice, we'll be using a looped strap, 2 yoga blocks, and an optional blanket for Shavasana. If you do not have props, a large towel and a thick book would work. I am here to guide you, but you are always your best teacher. So please, listen to your body, stay safe, and have fun. We're going to begin lying down on our backs. You'll be needing your blocks if you have them for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. So we're going to go ahead and transition, and if you have that strap, just have it off to the side as well. We're going to go ahead and roll down onto our backs. Maybe it feels good to take a full body stretch. And then we're going to go ahead and take the soles of the feet together in a butterfly shape, opening up through the hips. So I'm going to bring the blocks underneath my knees or thighs, wherever it feels best. The blocks have 3 levels, so feel free to adjust for your body. And then arms can be where they're comfortable for you, either at the sides. You can have one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. You can have both hands on the belly. Whatever feels nice for you today. Feels good for you, feel free to close your eyes and just settle into your practice. We're going to take 2 collective breaths together. So nice deep inhale in and let it go through the mouth. Another deep inhale and a long exhale. As we relax here, passively opening up through the inner thighs and the outer hips, I want you to draw the shoulder blades into the chest, so really opening up through that heart space. And I want you to envision a favorite tropical getaway. Maybe you've been there before, maybe you just see it in your mind's eye. Just visualizing maybe a tropical island with its beach, all the sounds. Maybe there's palm trees, beautiful flowers that are very big compared to the normal around our neighborhoods. And I want you to pick one flower, your favorite. Visualize its shape, maybe its texture, its color, its smell. As we inhale super deep, I want you to envision that flower in your torso, just expanding to its full bloom. Then as you exhale, it softly closes its petals. Continuing like that with that visualization with your breath, inhaling, allowing your beautiful flower to blossom inside your torso. And as you exhale, it softly recedes. Continuing here for a few more breaths. Allowing your breath to be full and deep, staying breath connected throughout your practice today. And then inviting in a personal intention. I'm going to offer today to invite in joy. No matter what your circumstances, no matter what you're going through, can you look for the joy moments? Can you find joy? Maybe your intention's a positive affirmation, a prayer, or a deep heart longing. Inviting that into your heart space in these last few breaths here. And bringing some gentle movement to fingers and toes. Maybe you rock the head gently side to side. We're going to go ahead and draw the knees back to center. The feet are going to ground down onto your mat. The blocks can come off to the side, and you're going to find your strap, if you have it, or a towel. We're going to transition into Supta Padangustasana 1, 2, and 3. So we're really going to open up through the hamstrings, the inner thighs, and the outer hips. So you're going to start with both knees bent. You're going to take your strap or the loop of the strap around the ball of that right foot. The strap is just going to hang down. You're going to be able to rest your arms onto the mat. And feel free to bring a bend into that right knee if the hamstring is super tight. We're going to extend through that leg, heel towards the sky, a nice flex into the foot. So you want to engage the hamstring while we're stretching. This is a very effective way to stretch. If everything's going well with the lower back, feel free to stay with the bent knee, but we're going to extend the left leg long, if you can, onto the mat. So I want you to press both tops of the thighs towards their hamstrings. So very engaged legs, flex into the feet, and there's that space between the pelvis and the thigh of that right hip. You can even take your thumb into that hip crease and kind of draw your thigh down. A few more breaths here, just finding a nice, beautiful stretch into that right hamstring. Transitioning into your Ujjayi Pranayama, that slight audible sound at the back of the throat. And the breath begins to feel and sound like an ocean wave coming in and out of shore. From here, we're going to take the second variation of Supta Padangustasana. So we're going to externally rotate at the very top of that right thigh. So the right toes angle out towards the right side. You're going to take your left hand to the thigh and hip to keep it rooted into the mat, and you're going to take your leg out to the side to comfort, no more than halfway. We want to stabilize through the lower back and pelvis by keeping that left top of the thigh rooted into the mat. So again, a flex into both feet, super engaged. You're going to get a little bit of opening into the inner thigh and the outer hip of the right leg. 2 more full breaths here. We'll inhale that leg back to center, and then we're going to take it halfway over to the left. And you're going to feel a nice stretch into the outside of the right leg, especially into that IT band that joins at the knee and wraps around through the glute. If you don't feel anything here, feel free to draw the toes closer towards the face and just find that right spot for you. You can release that right hand to the side if you'd like, just to give it a break from holding onto the strap. Should feel super yummy. It's a nice way to stretch through that IT band and the outer hip on that right side. 2 more full breaths. And then we're going to inhale that right leg back to the sky. You're going to bend into the right knee. You're going to release that side. Release the strap. Maybe take a full body stretch or hug both knees into the chest, rocking side to side. Anything that feels good here. We're going to take that all on the other leg. So you're going to ground both feet down. And each side's a little bit different. Honor your body here. You're going to take the strap around the ball of the left foot this time. Begin to extend that left foot to the sky, a nice flex into the foot. You can bend into that left knee as much as you need to. If things are going well, you can extend the right leg down onto the mat, a nice flex into both feet here, pressing both tops of the thighs towards the hamstrings. You can take that left thumb into the crease of that left hip, just really creating a little more space between that thigh and pelvis. Let it feel good as we open up deep into that left hamstring. Super engaged legs. That front heel really reaching towards the front wall, and that Extended leg heel reaching towards the sky. Maybe you visualize yourself just lying on that beautiful beach in your tropical island getaway. From here, we're going to externally rotate through that left top of the thigh. We're going to go ahead and take the leg no more than halfway to the left, and I'm going to take my right hand to the top of my right thigh and hip to help remind myself to keep it grounded, protecting through my lower back. I know I can take that leg farther, but I want to really have that integrity in my lower back so that over time I won't have any injuries or any strain through the SI joints. A few more breaths here. Really externally rotating at the very top of that thigh. One more deep inhale and exhale. Inhaling the leg back up to center. We're going to take it halfway over to the right. Maybe the left arm extends out to the side like a T. And you can draw those left toes closer to the face if you need a deeper stretch. So again, we're feeling it into the outside of the left leg, into that IT band that runs along the knee, to the very top of the glute there. Maybe it wraps around into the glute. Just a really, really, really nice stretch. And then consciously relaxing through the face, the neck, and the jaw. And let the opening happen into the legs. 2 more full deep breaths. And we're going to inhale that leg back to center, bend into the left knee. You're going to release the strap. Just place it off to the side. Hug the knees into the chest. You can rock onto that lower back side to side. We're going to take both legs to the sky. You're going to reach your fingertips to try to touch your toes here. We're going to go ahead and flex and point through the feet and the hands, just opening up through our joints here. And then we'll go ahead and add in some rotation. So go ahead and take those circular rotations in one direction 3 times. And then opposite direction 3 times. Snap, crackle, pops are normal. Good job. All right, so we're going to hug the knees in. We're going to take our hands to the tops of the kneecaps. The feet are going to stay pretty much together. We're going to take row your boat knees circles. So I'm going to go ahead and circle my knees outwardly, keeping my feet relatively close together. Just getting a nice opening into that hip joint, beginning to increase that synovial fluid into the joint. So 3 rounds in one direction, and then you're going to take it in the opposite direction 3 rounds. And then from here, we're going to either rock up to seated, or you can transition onto your side, coming all the way up, and we'll take our tabletop position on hands and knees. Just making sure your blocks are towards the top of the mat. We're going to spread the fingers wide. We're going to have the shoulders over the wrist and the hips over the knees. The feet are relaxed behind you. Coming into our cow and cat. So as you inhale, bringing the head and the heart forward. And then as you exhale, drawing the navel to spine and rounding through the back. Continuing here with your breath. Full inhalation for your cow shape. And exhalation for cat. Feel free to add any additional movement here. You can wag the hips side to side. You can take some big hip circles. Anything that feels good for your body. Just make sure whatever you do on one side, you do on the other, keeping yourself balanced. 3 more full breaths here. And then finding your neutral tabletop. We're going to take extended tabletop. So that right leg's going to come up and back. We have a nice flex into that right foot. That right thigh is dropping down, and you have a wall at that left thigh and hip, just really engaging everything into midline. Rooting through the right hand, the left arm's going to come forward, thumb to the sky. Navel draws to spine, and you're really working a lot of muscles here, allowing that spine to work in opposite directions, and inner thigh of that right thigh drawing towards the sky. One more full breath here. We're going to take the left hand to the mat. You're going to keep the right leg extended. You have that wall on the left side, and we're going to externally rotate at the very top of that right thigh. Toes kind of point out towards the right. You're hugging in with that left thigh and hip. As you exhale, that right knee is going to come in towards the tricep or the shoulder, and then you're going to go ahead and inhale back. We're going to do that 2 more times. You're going to feel the outer hip turn on that right side. You're hugging in with that left thigh and hip. One more full round here. Coming back, the foot will come to neutral, toes point towards the mat, and then that right knee will come down. Good job. Finding your neutral table here, we're going to inhale that left leg back. A nice flex into the foot. That left thigh is drawing down. The right thigh and hip are hugging in. You're going to root through the left hand this time. Right arm forward, thumb to the sky. Hugging everything into midline. Engaging that lower belly by drawing the navel to spine. You're relaxing through the jaw and the neck. Rooting through that left hand. Working our focus and stability and balance. We're going to go ahead and bring the right hand down. You're going to keep the left leg extended. Keeping that wall on that right side, you're going to externally rotate at the top of that left leg. Slow and controlled exhale, knee in towards the tricep or shoulder, and inhale back. This is slow and mindful movement, really engaging that left outer hip gluteus medius. One more full round. Beautiful. As you're ready, we're turning that left leg back to neutral, toes to point towards the mat, and you'll bring the knee back down. Great work. We're going to take puppy dog pose here. So I'm going to keep my hips high right over the knees. I'm going to take my hands way forward off of the mat and allowing the forehead to come down to the mat or a block. Opening up through the upper back and shoulders. You may even feel it in your lats here. We're going to walk the fingertips over to the right corner of the mat and soften down, feeling a little more stretch in the left side body. And then we'll go ahead and walk back to center and walk the fingertips towards the left corner of the mat and feel more opening through the right side body. Walking the fingertips back to center. We'll go ahead and inhale back up, drawing the palms back, preparing for downward facing dog. Tucking the toes under. As you exhale, the hips will come up and back. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you're going to go ahead and really root through the hands. The hands are pressing down and forward. The head is between the arms. The upper outer arms are turning on. Those triceps turn on. The biceps more rotating towards the ears in the sky. Front ribs hug in. Tops of the thighs pressing back and up. A lot of actions here in our downward facing dog. We're going to place a bend into that left knee, grounding that right heel down a little bit more. Feel that nice stretch all along that right leg. You may feel it in the hip as well. Continuing to push away and down with the hands. Now we're going to go ahead and switch. Place a bend into the right knee. The left heel will ground down. Pushing away with the hands. Ribs are hugging in. Feel that nice stretch in that left outer leg. Grounding both heels down. We'll inhale up onto the balls of the feet, swivel the heels towards the right, and then place a generous bend into the right knee. You're going to feel a stretch along the left leg, hip, side waist, anywhere on that left side. We'll inhale back to center up onto the balls of the feet, swivel the heels towards the left, ground the heels down to comfort, and then place a bend into the left knee this time. Feeling the stretch into the right outer leg, hip, side waist. Then we're going to inhale back to center, grounding the heels down. Inhaling into plank pose. You want to make sure that the wrists are right underneath the shoulders. It's a strong pose here. Long line of energy from crown of the head through the heels. Frontal hip points lift. Energetically, the wrists draw back towards the toes, turning on your side bodies. From here, we're going to lift the right foot a couple inches off of the mat. Nice job. We're going to externally rotate in that right leg, create that wall on that left side. As you exhale, bring the knee in towards that tricep or shoulder. Inhale back, 2 more rounds here, staying in that plank shape. 1 more with your breath. Good work. And then we'll bring the leg back to neutral and back down to the mat. Another full breath in plank. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. We have 1 more side of that. Inhaling into plank pose. Pushing the hands away. Shoulder heads are drawing back. Frontal hip points lift. Tailbone lengthen towards the back heels. We're going to lift that left foot a couple inches off of the mat. Good work. We're going to externally rotate through that left thigh, the very top of the thigh, create that wall with that right thigh and hip. You're going to go ahead and exhale, knee in towards the tricep or shoulder. Very mindful movement, staying in that plank shape. 2 more with your breath. Nice job. Toes point back down, back to the mat. Another full breath in plank. You've got this. Exhale. Downward facing dog. We're going to walk our feet up towards the hands, coming into ragdoll forward fold. You can clasp opposite elbows, let the head hang. You can sway side to side. Anything that feels good. Generous bend in the knees. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back. You can rest them at the sacrum or lift them away from the spine, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, creating more space. And then lastly, we're going to interlace the hands behind the neck, elbows drape down towards the mat. Let everything go gently, releasing tension in the neck, the cervical spine. Taking the hands to the mat now. Generous bend into the hands to the hips on the next inhale with a flat back. Come up to standing. Good work, everyone. All right, we're going to do a fun breath technique called breath of joy. It's a great way to invite in a little more energy into your day, to release a little bit of stress and just find that joy no matter what's going on. So I'm going to demonstrate a round, and then we're going to do 7 rounds together. At any time, if it's too much, just feel free to take some complete inhales and exhales. So it's a 3-part inhale and an exhale out through the mouth, and we do it with movement. So again, I'm going to demonstrate the first one. Feel free to join in at any time. We'll do 7 more after that. All right, so it's going to look like this. We're going to inhale up. Join me now. One more full round. And come on up. And just pause, close the eyes, just notice the effects, or maybe you keep the eyes open. There's a lot of energy moving in your body. Breath of joy. So just a great technique to come into when you just need a little bit of extra spark in your day. All right, so finding Tadasana, we're going to take 3 rounds of our half sun salutation. So maybe rocking back and forth on the feet, side to side, finding your center, lengthening that tailbone down, shoulders are drawing back, and you just feel nice and strong here in your mountain pose. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lead with the heart, bend at the hip crease as you come all the way down. Uttanasana. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Let the head go a little bit more. Root through the feet. The arms will sweep to the sides, up and overhead. Urdhva Hasta in Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Samasti Tihi. 2 more full rounds. Inhaling up. Exhale, extend through the spine. Press the tops of the thighs back as you come on down. Inhaling for your half lift. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more full round with your breath. Inhaling up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Really turn on the quadriceps here. And then exhale, fold. Let everything go. Root through the feet, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. So good. We'll continue to add on here. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, ground the hands. We're going to take the right leg back. We're in our low lunge. We're going to take a low lunge twist. Feel free to use a block underneath that right hand if you need it. We're going to ground the right hand down, and we're going to exhale, taking that left arm to the sky, softening the shoulders away from the ears. You have a strong back leg, flexing through that back foot. We're going to take a half wrap with that left arm, just wrapping it into the waist. So take a nice deep inhale as you lengthen through the side waist. Exhale, shoulder blades draw through the chest, the shoulder head draws back. We're going to go ahead and inhale, left arm back to the sky, back to the mat. We're going to release the right knee to the mat, and we're going to take low lunge lizard. So I'm going to take both blocks on the inside of my left foot. I'm going to really take my right leg back to comfort to get a nice stretch in my hip flexor and psoas. I want to make sure that that front knee is comfortable. Usually over the ankle works best. And then feel free to stay upright, or you can come down into any variation that's good for your body today. 5 full breaths. Keeping the navel drawing into the spine, protecting your low back, feeling an opening in so many places, inner thighs, outer hips. Relax through the face, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. 1 more deep full breath. We're going to go ahead and inhale back up. You're going to come into half split, Ardha Hanuman. I like to bring my blocks with me. You don't have to. Helps me to keep an upright spine. So I'm going to go ahead and flex through that left foot. Take a nice deep inhale, little micro bend into the left knee, pitching forward. And again, pressing that heel into the mat and energetically drawing that heel back towards that left glute helps to really help me feel more of a stretch in the hamstring. And then to find that outside stretch on the leg, I'm going to angle my toes to the left corner, and I feel a totally different stretch. So stay where you need it the most today. Either the foot straight to the sky or angled out to the left. A couple more breaths. And then we'll take the toes back up, ground them to the mat. Blocks will come up towards the top of the mat. We're going to return to our low lunge and take three-legged downward facing dog. So that left leg is going to come up and back. Three-legged dog to the sky. We're going to go ahead and externally rotate through that left leg and then place a bend into the left knee, trying to bring that left heel towards the glute. Create a nice opening in the hip by drawing the knee a little bit more to the sky, but stabilize through your shoulders. Press into the hands. One more full breath. Then we're going to straighten through that left leg. The toes are going to come and point down towards the mat, neutral hips, and then bring your foot to the mat. We're going to inhale into plank pose. We're going to exhale all the way to the mat. From here, we're going to take a rolling cobra. So I want you to take your hands to the outsides of your mat. You're up onto your fingertips. And just imagine an ocean wave coming in and out of shore. We're going to go ahead and inhale, lifting up through your cobra, pressing through the tops of the feet. And then exhale, roll down. Add as much movement here as you like. Inhaling up. Exhale, back down. Find the opening in the upper back. Nice work. Bringing the hands back under the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. You're going to lift through your plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. On the next inhale, we're going to float the right leg up and back. Three-legged dog, neutral position, hugging in with that left thigh and hip. As you exhale, that knee is going to come in towards the nose, and we're going to bring the left foot towards the top of the, right foot towards the top of the mat for your low lunge. We're going to be taking a low lunge twist. So root the left hand down on a block or the mat. Right arm's going to come to the sky on your exhalation. Drawing that left shoulder back. We're going to take the half wrap behind the back, tucking into the waist. And then as you inhale, lengthen through both side bodies. And as you exhale, draw the shoulder blades through the chest and the right shoulder head draws back. That right thigh and hip are drawing back and in. The back leg is super strong. We'll go ahead and take that right hand back up now. Back to the mat. Release the left knee to the mat. Coming into our low lunge lizard. Finding those blocks if you have them. Adjusting the left leg back to comfort, making sure that front knee is comfortable. And go ahead and take your variation. You can stay up on the hands and come down onto the forearms. The blocks have lots of levels, so make it comfortable for you. 5 full breaths. Just feeling and breathing through all the sensations of the body. Finding joy even in all those sensations. Our circumstances in life sometimes don't lend to joy, but we have to find those joy moments. As you're ready, we're slowly going to transition back up. Take your time. Coming into our half split, Ardha Hanuman. So you have the blocks on the outsides of the hips if you like that variation. We're going to go ahead and take a nice upright spine. You're grounding the heel into the mat and you're going to pitch forward, creating some space between that pelvis and thigh. Again, the heels really hugging into the mat and drawing back towards that glute. Find the opening in your hamstring, still keeping that core engaged by drawing the navel to the spine. And then notice here how this feels for you, and then angle the toes towards the right and see what kind of stretch you want today. You can do a little bit of both, or you can just hang out in one area that feels really nice. Softening through the face, the neck. 2 more full deep breaths. Broadening through the shoulder blades and the collarbones here, really allowing yourself to keep that upper body open. Then we'll inhale back to center. We're going to ground the foot down. We're going to transition back to the low lunge. We're going to take three-legged downward facing dog. That right leg is going to come up and back. You have the neutral positioning, hugging in with that left thigh and hip. Then we're going to go ahead, externally rotate through that right leg, bend into the right knee, trying to bring that right heel to the glute. Maybe the knee reaches a little bit more to the sky, and then stabilize through the shoulders. So root through the hands, push away, let it feel good. One more full breath. Then we'll straighten through the right leg, bring it back to neutral, and then back to the mat. We'll inhale to plank pose, and we'll all come down to the mat through chaturanga. We're going to take that rolling cobra. So root through the feet, kneecaps lift, fingers out to the side on the fingertips. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, rolling down. Two more times. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, release. One more round. Nice work. Drawing the hands to where they're underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under. You're going to lift strong through half or full plank. And then tops of the thighs bring you back, downward facing dog. So good. We're going to bend into the knees. You're going to gaze forward at the end of the exhale. You're going to step or float to the top of the mat. Inhaling for your half lift. Lead with the heart. Broaden through the collarbones. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hug it on in. All right, we're going to take two classic rounds of Sun Salutation A. I'm going to be guiding, stepping back. Feel free to jump back, jump forward, add anything you like, even handstand if that's in your practice. So finding Tadasana. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, ground the hands, bend the knees, right leg will come back, followed by the left. You're in plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhaling, low cobra, upward facing dog, strong legs. If you're in low cobra, you'll transition through plank. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Full inhale here. And exhale. That left foot will come up between the hands, followed by the right. You'll inhale for the half lift and exhale, fold. Root through the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll take that on the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, left leg back this time. Followed by the right, you're in plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra, upward facing dog. Transitioning through plank if you need. Exhale, downward facing dog. Another full breath here. That right foot will come up between the hands, followed by the left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll be adding on here. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Bringing the weight into the heels. The arms are going to come up. Shins shift back in space. Glutes come down and try to find that opening into the upper back. Strong arms overhead. Frontal hip points lift. Feel that. Turn on. And then exhale, fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, ground the hands. We're going to take the right leg back. We're going to seal the back foot down, preparing for warrior one. So you're going to go ahead and inhale the arms slowly up and overhead. So that back foot is really a matter of preference. 45-degree angle is what we've been taught, but figure out what works best for your back knee. Make sure that back knee is comfortable. The inner thigh, the back leg is rotating back, strong back leg, strong front leg, frontal hip points lift. That tailbone draws down. You have strong arms, nice bend into that front knee. Find your focus and find your joy through these postures. One more full breath. We're going to open up towards the right. We're going to take a wide-legged squat. So I'm going to go ahead and have the feet at an angle to where when I bend my knees are tracking over my feet. All right, so working a little squat here, working the strength in our quads, opening into the inner thighs, the adductors. So we're going to interlace, or actually grab opposite elbows behind you. We're going to keep the squat and forward fold. So take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, really root through both feet. Come on down, crown of the head towards the ground or the floor. Keep your squat. Feel those thighs. One more full breath. Then as you're ready, you're going to come on up. You got that squat, and then straighten through the legs. Good work. We're going to take warrior two facing the back of the mat. So that right foot is going to be pointing straight out. The knee is tracking over the second toe. That left foot angles to where it's comfortable for your back leg. So the right thigh is drawing down and under. That left thigh is pushing back, and the inner thigh is rotating down. So find space for your lower back. The core is engaged. Nice strong arms looking over that middle finger of the right hand. Now I'm going to give you the option of lifting that right heel off of the mat. Working your quad here, a little bit of focus in that. You can keep that heel lift or not. We're going to take reverse warrior. Right arm to the sky, left arm lightly touching behind. You still have that right heel lifted. Feel the strength in that leg. Now I'm going to have you ground the heel and straighten through that right leg. So reverse triangle. We're going to inhale back to warrior two. Bend into that right knee. We're going to be working our side angle pose, Parsva Konasana. Before we begin, I want you to take your right hand to the outside of that right shin and calf, left arm to the sky, and I want you to push that calf and shin into that right palm. Feel that outer right thigh and gluteus medius turn on, helping to stabilize through your pelvis. Once you have that, you can either take the right hand to the thigh, or you can bring the right hand to the inside of that right foot. We're going to be working into the half wrap and full bind. So if you'd like, you can take the half wrap behind the back. If you're working into full bind, the right hand reaches under, reaches for that left hand or wrist. So finding that range of motion as you twist, really broadening through the collarbones. Left shoulder head draws back. Keep a generous bend into the front knee. 2 more full breaths. Strong pose. We're going to slowly release, bringing the half wrap back. We're going to straighten through the front leg for Trikonasana. I like to have my hand on the shin. You can take it wherever you feel a lengthening through both side bodies. So find that for yourself. Gaze classically to the thumb, but figure out what works for your neck. I like to personally draw my right thigh and hip a little bit more towards that back heel, that left heel, to find a little more space in my lower back. Softening the shoulders away from the ears. From here, we'll transition to reverse triangle. So keep the strong straight legs, windmilling the arms back. A nice break for the legs. Feel a little more length through the right side body. And then inhaling back to Virabhadrasana 2. We're going to take a variation of Humble Warrior. Classically, Humble Warrior is taken in Warrior 1. We're going to take it in Warrior 2 today. So I'm going to interlace my hands behind the back. I'm really going to keep that right thigh drawing down and under and that back leg super strong, rooted through both feet. I'm going to inhale, draw the shoulder blades through the chest. As I exhale, lead with the heart. As I come on down, drawing that right shoulder onto the inside of that right thigh. You can lift the hands a little bit higher to the sky, really rooted through both feet. Keep a generous bend into that right knee. Navel draws to spine. Let your head go. 2 more full breaths here. Strong pose. Find the joy. Strong, strong legs. You're going to inhale all the way back up. Virabhadrasana 2. Good work. We're going to cartwheel the hands to the mat. Find that low lunge twist. Left hand roots down, right arm to the sky, and find your half wrap here. We'll go ahead and release that right hand back to the sky. Back down, we're gently going to release the left knee to the mat. Option to take half split again or work into full Ardha Hanuman. So you can use your blocks here. If you want to block underneath that right thigh or glute to help you into the full variation, feel free to take that. So again, half split or working towards full split with that right leg forward. If you have the full split variation, feel free to take both arms to the sky if you can find that balance. Two more deep full breaths. I'm going to challenge you here as you come out to really draw through the pelvis and the core to come back up and then into 3-legged downward facing dog. Right leg up and back. We're going to externally rotate through that right leg, bend into the right knee, and try to bring the right heel to the glute and lift that right knee more to the sky and stabilize now through the shoulders. One more full breath. We'll straighten through the right leg. We'll neutralize through that hip, ground the foot to the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale into plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhaling low cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, transitioning through plank if you need to. Nice deep inhale here. And complete exhale. Taking all of that on the other side. Floating the right leg up and back. 3-legged downward facing dog. We're going to take that right foot up between the hands. Seal the back foot down, preparing for warrior 1. Slow and controlled. Right thigh is drawing back and in. Find your warrior 1. So you got to find that right angle for your foot. Inner thigh kind of draws down, opening up through that hip flexor. Strong arms to the sky. Tailbone lengthens down. Full deep breaths. Lifting through that back inner arch. Then we're going to go ahead and open up towards the left. We're going to take that wide-legged squat. So again, the feet are going to angle out to the side so that when you bend into the knees are tracking over the feet. I'm going to take my hands behind my back, clasp opposite elbows. I'm going to keep that generous squat. Take a nice deep inhale in. Lead with that heart, root to the feet, get a huge strengthening for my legs as well as opening into the inner thighs. Let the head release towards the mat. One more full breath. Little shaking is good and natural. Then we'll go ahead and inhale back up, straighten through those legs. And finding warrior 2 towards the top of the mat. Left foot is facing forward. You have that knee tracking over the second toe. The right back foot is angled to where it's comfortable for your leg. So find the neutrality of this pose. Find the midline with the arms, with the hips, really lengthening that tailbone down. Frontal hip points lift. Left thigh is wrapping down and under. And there's a little more opening or drawing down of that right inner thigh to create some space in the low back. Option here to lift that front heel, working into the calf a little bit more, the calf muscle. We're going to flip the front palm, taking reverse warrior, keeping the heel lifted if you can. Now ground the heel down straight and through that front leg, reverse triangle. Inhaling into warrior two. We're going to be working into Parsvakonasana. So I want you to really feel the action of that gluteus medius turning on to help stabilize through the pelvis. So take the left hand to that shin calf area on the outside of that left leg and push into it and feel that gluteus medius turn on and feel that action. Right arm to the sky. Then you can replace the hand to the thigh lightly or bring the left hand down towards the foot. Gaze towards the sky if it's comfortable for you. We're going to work into that half wrap, full bind. So half wrap, the hands behind the back. If you want the full bind, left arm reaches under, reaching for that right hand or wrist and really find the opening here. Keep a bend into the front knee. I always want to cheat out there. Broadening through the collarbones. Shoulder blades draw through the chest. Right shoulder head draws back. One more full breath. Strong pose. You are strong. We'll take the hand back down. We'll go ahead and unwrap, straighten through the front leg for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Feel a nice lengthening through both side bodies. Relax through the shoulders and the neck. Micro bend into that front knee if needed. And then reversing our triangle. Let it feel good through that left side body, giving the legs a little break. And then back to Virabhadrasana 2. We're going to work into that variation of humble warrior in our warrior 2. Again, classically it is done in warrior 1. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back, really rooting through the feet. You feel that left thigh drawing down and under, back leg is strong. You're going to lead with that heart. Exhale, forward fold. Left shoulder is drawing into that thigh. And then you can lift the arms a little bit off of the back. Release the head to the mat. Rooting equally through both feet. Feel the strength in the pose. Feel the opening in the pose. Feel the joy in the pose. One more full breath. We're going to go ahead and come back up. Keep a bend into that front knee. Warrior 2. We're going to cartwheel the hands to the mat. That right hand's going to root down. We're going to come into that twist. Left arm to the sky. Left thigh is drawing back and in. Feel free to take that half wrap here. Strong back leg. We'll come in and release the half wrap. We'll bring the hand to the mat. We're going to release the right knee to the mat. Option for half split again, Ardha Hanuman, or working towards full split. So again, use your blocks if you need to, or any other props that you have. So giving you a few moments here to really find your edge for today. Listen to your body. If you find the full split variation, feel free to take the arms to the sky. Couple more full deep breaths. So So really use the core to come out of this. We're going to be coming into that three-legged downward facing dog. So lift up through the core and the pelvis. Nice job. Coming back to three-legged downward facing dog. Externally rotate through that left thigh. Bend into the left knee, heels reaching towards the glute. Stabilize through the shoulders as you bring that left knee more to the sky. Open, open, open. Then we'll straighten and extend through that left leg. Toes point down back towards the mat. We'll come into downward facing dog. Inhaling into plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhaling, low cobra, upward facing dog. Transition through plank. If you're in that low cobra, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Full deep inhale and complete exhale. Now everybody's going to take a child's pose, so knees down. Knees as wide as the mat. Big toes to touch and relax. Balasana. A pose of humility and surrender. Stabilizing through the breath. Noticing all the sensations in the body. Finding joy, contentment, and peace no matter the circumstances. Two more deep full breaths. Honoring any intentions you've set. We're going to go ahead and inhale back up, transitioning back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, exhale the hips up and back. We're going to bend into the knees. You're going to gaze forward at the end of the exhale. You're going to step or float to the top of the mat. Inhaling for your half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhaling, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Squat down, shin shift back in space. Arms are strong, frontal hip points lift. Then inhale all the way back up. Exhale, hands tired. Good work, everybody. All right, so we are going to work into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 1, 2, and 3. You may need a strap for this. You can always keep a bend into the knees. And if you're familiar with the pose and want to take it from the big toe at the floor, feel free to do so. I'm going to be demonstrating with a bent knee to start. So you're going to find a nice solid foundation here. There you go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and root through the left foot, and we're going to lift the right knee up. We want to keep that space between the pelvis and thigh. We're going to take our peace sign fingers around that right big toe. If that doesn't work for you today, you're going to take the hand around the knee. So you can stay right here. You want to drop that right thigh down, and you want to stabilize through that left thigh and hip. We're really working the standing leg in these postures. Option to stay here or extend the right leg out. As you do so, drop that right thigh down. Really have a nice tall posture as best you can. A lot of this pose is the length of our arm and leg and the flexibility of the hamstring, of course. So feel free to use a towel or strap around the ball of that right foot or keep the knee bent. Now we'll externally rotate at the top of that right thigh, bringing the leg out to the side. So again, really wrapping that right thigh down and under, stabilizing through that left leg. Nice tall posture. Second variation of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Then we're going to bring the leg back to center, and I'm going to have everybody bend the knee here. And we're going to take our left hand to the outside of that right knee, and the right arm is going to extend back. Now you can pause here. This is a great variation of the third Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. If you have it in your practice, you're going to reach the hand for the outside of the right foot and extend that foot out. Nice flex, nice tall posture, dropping that right thigh down. One more full breath. Maybe you gaze all the way back. And then bend into that right knee and release. Good work. Shake it out. Whew, huge opening, hips and hamstrings. All right, we're going to take that to the other side. So again, if you need that strap or towel, have it handy. We're going to root through the right foot this time. Bend into the left knee. And then find that space at the top of the thigh between the pelvis. You're hugging in with the right thigh and hip. Peace sign fingers of the left hand will wrap around the toe. If that's not working for you, just keep the hand around the knee. Find a point of focus forward. You're welcome to stay here, dropping down through that left thigh. Nice tall posture. If you're ready, you're going to extend the leg. Holding here, dropping down with that left thigh and hip. Really strong through that right leg. Flexing through that front foot, finding the engagement everywhere. Externally rotating the top of that left thigh, coming out to the side. You don't have to take the leg very high. Just find that neutral place where it feels good, hugging in with the left thigh and hip. Right thigh and hip. Left thigh is drawing down and under. Broadening through the collarbones. Full deep breaths. Can you stay breath connected here? Then we'll come back to center. Everybody will bend into the knee. Take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left arm reaches back. If you have it in your practice, you'll take that left hand to the outside of the left foot and extend through the leg. Strong pose here. Really find your variation. Maybe gaze back towards that left hand. One more full breath wherever you're at. Coming back to center, bending into that knee, dropping it down and shaking it out. Woo! Very open. All right, so we are working into Bird of Paradise today. Svarga Dvijasana. It's a hard word to say. So I'm going to guide you through 2 ways to get into Bird of Paradise. If you combined really well in side angle pose, you probably won't need a strap. If you use a strap in that posture, you might need a strap or a towel to hold on to. So we're going to come into it through forward folding, a bound Uttanasana, and then we're going to come into it from side angle pose as well. So you have 2 options to practice it with. You're going to realize what works best in your body, so in your own practice, you'll be able to practice it regularly. It's a fun pose, a lot of opening everywhere, shoulders, hips, hamstrings. So honor your body. If you don't come into the full variation today, no worries. It's a very challenging pose. So we're going to start on our mat, and I'm going to take my feet a little bit wider. I like to come into a wide stance. I'm going to squat on down like I'm coming into a forward fold. Now, my right arm is going to come under my right thigh and reach towards my butt. See if you can slap your butt there. And then the left arm is going to come behind, and I'm going to try to grab my hands together. Now, if that's not working for you, you need a strap or towel, so go find one. All right, so from here, what I'm going to do is hold on to those hands, and I'm going to kind of creep my left foot in a little bit more, and I'm going to try to come to standing with this bind. Yes, this is a strong pose here. So this is perfect for today. If you'd like to be here, good job. So all the actions we've been working with, this is external rotation in that right leg, strong standing leg. And if you can, you're going to extend through that right leg. You can point or flex the foot, whatever feels best for you. Really broaden through the collarbones. Let it feel good. Point of focus. One more full breath. And then bend into the knee and release out. Woo! Shake it out. So just have fun with it. Find a little joy in this posture. If you don't even get close to it, that's okay. No worries. So we're going to try the other side. And it's really different side to side. So try the other side for sure. Take the feet a little bit wider. You're gonna squat on down. Left arm comes underneath the left thigh. Try to slap that left butt. Got it. Right arm reaches behind. You're gonna grab for your hands. If you can do the wrist, awesome. Try that. And then we're gonna try to creep that right leg in. Really stay rooted through that right leg as you lift up through the left. All right, awesome. So find this first. Feel stability into that right leg, opening through. And then if things are going well, the hands operate today, that left foot will extend out, point or flex the foot, whatever feels best. Strong through the standing leg, externally rotating through that left leg. Couple more breaths. And then we'll bend into that knee and come on down. Whew, you're gonna feel so open after this class for sure. All right, so we're gonna demo now through extended side angle pose. All right, so we are gonna find warrior two to start. We're gonna start with the right leg bent. So anywhere on your mat, finding warrior two with the right leg forward, the left leg back. All right, so from warrior two, you're gonna come to the side angle variation. And then if you have that bind, this variation will work well for you. So you have the bind, and so you're gonna transition the feet in closer together. The right leg will come up. Find your balance, and then you can extend the right leg out. Nice job. So some people find this easier than the bound Uttanasana way. So find what works best to your body. We'll bend into the leg and bring it down. All right, one more side, left side. So warrior two, left leg forward, right leg back. I can do this, right? That's what you gotta tell yourself sometimes. So we're gonna go ahead and find side angle pose. You can take that wrap and the full bind. So left arm's under, and then we'll inch those feet together. Rooting through the right leg this time. Left leg comes up. You can stay right here, opening up. You can extend that left leg out. Couple more full deep breaths, straighten through the right leg. Flex or point, smile, find joy. One more full breath. And release, and bring it down. All right, let's do some hip circles. It just feels good right here. So imagine your tropical island or your tropical getaway. Maybe you're doing a hula on the beach. So just feel it in your hips here. We've really created a lot of opening in the hips and the hamstrings and the shoulders. So just working it out through some hip circles. You can go as big as you'd like, as little as you'd like. One direction and then the other. So winding it down now, we're gonna come into Malasana squat. If squatting is challenging for you, feel free to sit on something. We're just gonna hold for 5 full breaths. So we're gonna come on down into our squat. Again, your feet can be straight forward, angled out, whatever works best for your hips. We're gonna come on down. Releasing through the lower back. Arms can press into the inner thighs can squeeze into the arms. Maybe you close your eyes here. Smooth, steady breath. Letting go of that posture, whatever did or did not happen for you. Enjoying the process and the journey of our yoga practice. Accepting where we're at today. Finding the joy in the moment. We'll softly open the eyes. We're going to come down onto our bottoms. We're going to be working into archer's pose, Akarna Dhanurasana. So I'm going to go ahead and bend into the right knee. And I'm going to bring my right hand to the outside of the right foot. And I'm just going to bring that knee in towards the right side body, maybe underneath the armpit or towards the ribs. So really not a huge opening here, but just a nice little release. I have a flex into both feet, but we're gonna take a nice little twist with this pose. So now I'm gonna take my left hand to the outside of the right foot. The right arm's gonna come back, and I'm gonna try to straighten through that right leg for comfort, have a nice upright spine, and get a nice twist into my spine, as well as an opening through the outside of that right leg. So kind of similar to Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 3. And then we'll release, place a bend into the knee, ground that right foot down, and straighten through the leg. We'll take this on the other side. So archer's pose again. We're gonna take the left hand to the outside of the left foot. I'm gonna pick my foot up, and I'm just gonna draw my knee in towards the armpit or the side body and have a nice upright spine, a flex into both feet. And then from here, I'll take my right hand to the outside of the foot. Left arm will draw to the left, back behind me, and then I can straighten through the left leg. So breathing here, lengthening through both side bodies. Find a nice stretch for your spine and the outside of that left leg. One more full breath. Then I'll go ahead and return back to center, bend into the knee, and release on down. All right, we're gonna do one boat pose, Navasana. We're gonna bend into both knees, strengthening the core a little bit here. So you're gonna start with your feet up, and you're welcome to keep the knees bent. You can bring the arms out to the side. So again, engaging the core, drawing the navel to spine. If you'd like, you can come into full boat pose and try to lengthen the arms out. Tall, tall spine. Couple more breaths. Feel the hip flexors turn on. And then everybody's going to bend into the knees, reach for the big toes. Coming into Ubaya Padangusthasana. So holding onto the big toes, you're up on those sit bones. Then we're going to see if we can take the legs wide. So really come up onto the sit bones. Really leaning forward. Let that heart poke through. Holding onto the big toes. Kind of a fun pose. Find joy here. One more full breath. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So we're going to have a nice upright spine. You're going to go ahead and hold on to the feet, whatever feels good. Take a nice deep inhale, lead with the heart. The arms can resist to the inner thighs. 5 full breaths here. Feel release into the inner thighs, the outer hips, the lower back. And then we're going to inhale back up. We'll draw the knees together. We're going to take the legs out into Dandasana, staff pose, working into Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to guide you through 2 variations, classic and also a yin style caterpillar pose. So classic Paschimo, you're going to go ahead and lift the arms up. You're going to extend with the spine. You're going to reach for the feet or whatever you have. You can bend the knees as much as you need. And then have a nice extended spine as you reach forward and down. A yin style variation that I enjoy is taking the arms underneath the thighs and rounding my spine in and releasing my feet and letting everything go. So your choice here, 5 full breaths. Wherever you're at, you're going to go ahead and unwind back up. We're going to be transitioning on our back, doing a 2-step pelvic squat through the inner thighs, outer hips, and we're going to just stabilize through the pelvis. So a block would be handy, or a thick book. So we're going to go ahead and come on down. And we're going to bring the feet and heels together. We're going to take the widest level of the block between the knees. My arms are going to be right beside me, And again, the feet are as close as they can be together. And we're just gonna rock side to side, just lifting up the lower back off of the mat. And you're gonna take 10 rounds here. So a rock on each side is 1 round. So just finding that for you. We're gonna start with the widest block. So this is step 1 of the pelvis reset. About 3 more rocks. And then coming back to center. Keeping the feet together, maybe you draw the heels back a little bit more. We're going to bring the narrow block now, the most narrow way between the knees. And we're going to do the same thing. So 10 rocks, back and forth. About 3 more rocks. Oh, good job. So we'll release the block off to the side. Just pausing here. Maybe you separate the heels, bring the feet back at hip width distance, just noticing the effects of the pose. We're going to take a supine twist. So I'm going to guide you into easy twist. If you have a different twist that you like to take, feel free to take it. I'm going to take my arms out to the side in a T shape. We're going to twist to the right to begin. I'm going to shift my hips a little to the left, hug the knees in, and then bring my knees over towards the right. I'm going to take my right hand on the outside of that left thigh, giving myself a little bit of an adjustment. And then I'm going to feel the bottom of that left shoulder blade reaching towards the left elbow. So getting a beautiful twist here. Gaze can be to the ceiling or over towards that left hand. 5 full breaths. Beginning to lengthen out your exhalation breath. Whatever the inhale count is, doubling out the exhale. 1 more breath on this side. And we're going to inhale back to center. We're going to take our twist on the other side. So find neutral. Maybe you take your knees into the chest before you transition. I'm going to shift my hips to the right, hug my knees in, and come down onto my left. My left hand will reach for that right outer thigh, and then the bottom of my right shoulder blade reaching towards my right elbow, finding a little bit more opening here. Lengthening out my exhale breath. One more full deep breath. Inhaling back to center. If there's any other postures you would like to take, feel free to take them. Happy baby could be a great one. Anything else? We're going to prepare for Shavasana. For today's Shavasana, I'm going to have the blocks underneath my calves of my legs. So I take the blocks almost to the edges of the mat so my legs can be a little wider and just more comfortable in my Shavasana. I find it's a nice release for my hip flexors. It feels really nice on my lower back. And then I'm going to take the blanket over my torso just to get a little extra weight and grounding. So again, find Shavasana for you. Just setting up your space. Arms are comfortable. Let the body be heavy into the mat or the earth. And just visualizing your tropical getaway, wherever that might be, real or imaginary. Witnessing the sights, the sounds, the smells. Coming back to that beautiful flower you envisioned at the beginning of class. And just allowing yourself to drift away into Shavasana, letting go of all effort now, receiving all the benefits of your practice as we rest, renew, and recharge. Shavasana. You are welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to transition, just noticing the breath. Your breath of life flowing freely through your body. Each breath a purpose. Bringing some gentle movement to fingers and toes. Maybe rocking the head gently side to side. If it feels right, you can take a full body stretch. We're going to go ahead and transition onto our side in a fetal position, bringing a bend into the knees, bringing the legs off the blocks if you have them. You can use your arm as a pillow. And just noticing here the effects of the practice. Can you take a little bit of paradise with you
into the rest of your day, finding the joy moments. And that beautiful flower that was cultivated inside your heart space. Who can you give that flower to today? Either literally or figuratively. Who can you reach out to today that may need a little joy in their day? Just notice who comes to mind. As you're ready, we're going to use the strength of the arms to make our way into a comfortable seat. Once you find that comfortable seat, just allow the eyes to close. Drawing the hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Just taking a few breaths here. A few breaths of gratitude, a few breaths of honoring our intention, just a few breaths of fully integrating our practice. It's always a true honor and a pleasure to guide you through your practice. Thank you for sharing your beautiful presence with me. From the light within me, I honor and respect the light within you. Walk in grace and peace and joy, and shine bright, my friend. Much love, and namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Feel free to stay connected with me on my website, loveserveinspire.com.